All right, welcome back, guys, to another video in which I'm going to be breaking down the shredding protocol for you to follow to be achieving sub 10% body fat and leaning out your physique. All right, this is not my current physique. This is a transformation that I went through about a year ago, where I went from 220 pounds down to 180 pounds. Absolutely massive difference. And I got rid of all that extra fluff surrounding my muscle and surrounding my physique to achieve, a shredded six pack, reveal my obliques, my biceps look bigger. Like all these factors actually start to pop out more, and your physique looks that much more aesthetic when you're able to actually reach that 10% mark. All right. So I'm going to be breaking down 3 stages for you to follow. The third stage finally getting you to that 10% mark. But before we jump into that, I want to break down 2 things: how you're going to structure your nutrition and how you're going to structure your training. All right, so let's start with nutrition. The first thing we need to do, this is a non-negotiable, is hit your desired body weight in grams of protein, which for most people is going to be around 40% of their calorie intake when being in a calorie deficit. Okay, so what do I mean by desired body weight in grams of protein? Well, right here, being 220 pounds, I don't need to be eating 220 grams of protein each and every single day if my shredded physique would be around 180 pounds. So if I could just guess, I honestly, when I started this journey, I was like 20 pounds? 20 pounds and I'll be shredded? No, it was more than 20 pounds. But me being 220, I ate 200 grams of protein a day because that's what I thought would be my desired body weight. I ended up going much lower, as you can see. But you don't need to be eating your current body weight, but the body weight that you want to get to. And you can always have a safety net. Currently, I'm 190 pounds and cutting, but I'm eating 200 grams of protein. So at least our desired body weight in grams of protein each and every single day. The next thing is going to be your fats. You never want to go below 20% of your calorie intake coming from fats. So never go below that. 27% is just an example. That's what I'm having right now in my calorie deficit is 27% fats. But they're absolutely crucial for hormone regulation and keeping your energy stable, especially when dieting down and getting super lean. So never go below 20%. And the rest, you're going to fill in with carbs. It's that simple. Okay. Next up, training. You need to be training 4 to 6 times per week to get the best results and for this to actually work. And with that being said, you want to hit each muscle group at least twice per week. So if you're training on the lower end of 4 times per week, you could do something like an upper-lower split where you're doing 2 upper bodies and 2 lower body days, hitting each muscle group not once, but twice per week. And if you're doing a 6 times a week split, something like push-pull legs works or an Arnold split, anything, again, showing up and targeting muscle groups 2 to 3 times per week. From there, you need to be training with intensity and coming close to failure. Not every set has to be taken to failure, but at least, 1 rep in reserve, 2 reps in reserve, 3 reps, maybe leaving a little bit in the tank, but for the most part, really leaving everything out there on the gym floor. All right. Now that you have a basic understanding of how we're going to structure our nutrition and our training, let's go ahead and jump into the stages, with stage 1 being when you are 18% body fat plus. So you don't have a lot of definition. You probably don't have abs yet, but you might have some muscle in your physique to where if you leaned out, you'd be looking rock solid, right? So the first thing we need to implement, delete that, please, is walking 10,000 steps per day. That's a very easy and attainable goal to do each and every single day by just implementing a few habits, things such as like a morning walk or a nightly walk where you just go take a lap around the neighborhood. Or you could also implement walking in between your sets at the gym. So whenever you're resting in between sets, don't be sitting on your ass. Go and walk a little lap around the gym, go grab some water, and make sure you keep staying on your feet. Just being moderately active really gets you to 10,000 steps per day. And during this stage, you need nothing more. You don't need any more cardio implemented in order to start shredding body fat. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next thing is, as we started implementing our desired body weight in grams of protein, You need to be tracking your eating with that protein focus and understanding how it's aligning with your body weight. So be tracking your body weight too. Whatever calories you end up choosing to be eating for this, it doesn't have to be a calorie deficit quite yet. You could just be at maintenance, but just eating that higher protein and walking 10,000 steps per day is already going to start getting you results, okay? So as we're eating these foods and we're hitting our protein goal, and you ran the percentages, whether you use MyFitnessPal or any calorie tracking app, notice how that intake is interacting with your body weight. Is it going up? Is it going down? Are you maintaining? Any of those choices are completely fine. Not choices. Any of those, results are completely fine, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what is our maintenance level. So if your body weight isn't fluctuating, you now know that you could just subtract a little bit of carbs and a little bit of fats and then be in that deficit, shredding body fat each and every single day. So stay with this completely consistent, so that way you know the actual numbers behind the structure of your eating. And then the limited carbs that we do have, we want to be saving them before and after our workouts. Why? Because we need energy in the gym, and it's going to help us train that much harder, stimulate that much more muscle growth, and actually replenish our glycogen storages after our lifts. Okay, so say you're eating 200 grams of carbs a day. This is just an example of what that might look like, right? You have your 40% of protein, you have 30% fats, which is completely fine as long as you're still in a deficit and you're seeing progress, and then 30% carbs. You're going to do 20 grams of carbs for your first meal, so very low. Maybe that's like not even a banana, very low. Then 100 grams of carbs for your pre-workout meal 1 to 2 hours before the gym to get you satiated and get you carved up. Then you're going to consume the other majority of your carbs for your post-workout meal and leave a tiny little bit again for your last meal. But we really want that cushion of carbs surrounding the pre-workout meal and the post-workout meal. Absolutely crucial, and it's going to take your gym performance to that next level. Jumping into stage 2. From this, you're going to see progress, and you're going to get down to between that 14% to that 18% body fat mark. At this point, you're going to be seeing more definition. You're going to start seeing a little bit of abs, but we're not pushing that shredded look just yet. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to increase your activity by walking 12 to 13,000 steps a day. That means more walks, longer walks. Something like 2 20-minute walks a day should get you up there. Again, focusing on walking in between our sets at the gym, so we're not just wasting time sitting on our butt. And just implementing 2 walks a day plus walking in the gym, that's going to be perfect to get you over that 12 to 13,000 steps a day mark. Super simple. If you play sports, that's probably already taken care of. If you don't work a sedentary job and you're not behind a desk all day, again, that's probably already taken care of. So you're on track to success. Adjustment of our calories, okay? So we need to keep in mind there's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. And knowing this, we can tweak our numbers to guarantee us shredding body fat. So what you're going to do is you're going to analyze how many calories have I been eating. You take that and then you understand there's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So if the calories you were eating, your body weight wasn't changing, if you ate 3,500 calories less on a weekly basis, you would be losing a pound of fat each and every single week, aka a 500 calorie deficit daily, okay? So how has your body weight changed? Has it been decreasing? Has it been increasing? Assuming it's been decreasing, stay on track. Keep that calorie goal consistent. Just keep sticking to that as long as you keep seeing progress and your body weight keeps decreasing. If nothing has changed, you've been on top of your shit. Like you've been, here, let's see what it says. If you've been on top of your stuff, you've been tracking your calories, you've been getting your protein in, you've been confirmed walking over 10K steps each and every single day, and your body weight has not changed eating those calories, subtract 200 to 300 calories. But be honest with yourself if you've been slacking. No bullshit of like, oh, I thought I was eating 2,500, but then I had a few extra cherries. I had I had this little snack that I didn't track. Those things add up, okay? So be honest. If you're actually locked in and it's not, the body weight scale isn't moving, then you can subtract 200 to 300 calories down. If not, if you've only been seeing some progress, not a lot, but just a little bit, you can subtract 100, 200 calories from that, calorie number. Let's get rid of this. And if you need to be decreasing your overall calorie intake to keep seeing progress, it's going to be coming from your fats and your carbs. The protein always stays. It always stays. You want to be hitting at least 1 gram per pound of desired body weight. So remember, you're not putting your fats below 20%. You can pretty safely keep getting rid of carbs, but just be honest with yourself. Don't be making changes when you haven't been consistent with the previous stage. Just doing these things is guaranteed to be getting you below that 14% mark if you just implement these on a daily basis. So jumping into stage 3, this is where we're at 12 to 14% body fat. Honestly, that's kind of what I'm at right now, is my guess. I'm not below 10% just yet. So this is what I'm currently implementing and exactly how I'm pushing myself down to be close to 10% body fat. Walking over 13,000 steps a day. This is going to take a little bit more time if you're hitting 15,000 steps a day. That means you're spending a considerable amount of time on your feet. So what I recommend is, again, 2 walks, but maybe even longer. So a 30-minute walk in the morning after your first meal. At the gym, you're walking around in between your sets. Then after your workout, you can do 20 to 30 minutes on incline treadmill. Let's see what this says. Yeah, there we go. So morning walk between sets, and then cardio post-workout / afternoon walk. So we're implementing 2 or 3 walks bare minimum, depending on the length. 3 20-minute walks, however you want to adjust that. You should be hitting over 13,000 steps a day, and that activity level is more than enough to get you absolutely shredded as long as our diet is on point. So now we're going to be adjusting our calories again, but excuse me, guys, it's these Alani's. They get you burping. You're going to adjust your calories again, but only when your weight doesn't change for a week. How I define this is milking your calories. You don't want to end up being a large muscular dude that wants to enjoy lifting weights, wants to enjoy an active lifestyle on a day-to-day basis, but eating crumbs for a living and still not seeing results. This is completely possible to do, and it's a mistake that so many lifters make. Is they'll be like, oh, I want to get shredded fast, bro, I want to see results. And what they do is they just keep subtracting calories without actually milking them and getting their full results. So only when you've been eating a certain calorie intake, you've been consistent with tracking it, and you've been doing what I've stated in the previous stages consistently, you've been implementing these things, and you know for a fact that that input is just no longer getting you more shredded, that's when you have permission to drop it down by another 100 to 200 calories, right? Not significant though, because we don't want to end up a dude eating 1,500 calories a day and still not losing weight. Your metabolism is going to slow down. Your cortisol is going to spike. You're going to end up losing muscle, and it's not going to be fun. Do not try to get shredded too fast, especially when you're already getting pretty lean. Just stay on track, all right? You will be seeing the result. Just keep your eye on your macros, on your body weight, etc., and keep lining it up with your goal. When you're in a significant calorie deficit and you're actually making progress and getting shredded, you're going to have cravings and you're just not going to be satiated. You're going to be having some meals where you finish them and you're like, damn, bro, like I could have had 2 of those. I could have 3 of those, maybe even 4. I'm fucking starving. And that's just a feeling that comes with getting shredded. So what you have to be focusing on is meal timing and spreading it out, being smart about these things, right? Right now I wake up at 5 a.m. I wait till 9 a.m. So 4 hours into my day to have my first meal, because I'm not that hungry in the morning, and I might as well stall it off into later into the morning. Then I'll have my first meal. My pre-workout meal will be 3 to 4 hours after that. Then I'm not eating at the gym. I might have a little bit of a protein shake or a snack, and then I'll have either 1 or 2 meals to finish out the day. So I try to spread it out. You're going to have nighttime cravings, right? At night, you want diet soda at your hand. You want sparkling water. You want gum. You want anything like pickles, I don't know, a little bit of fruit. Save some food for those nighttime cravings if that's something you struggle with, because it's no joke. You are going to be hungry getting shredded. But as long as you follow these things, you're bound to see the result. But remember, you have to get through the first stage, the second stage, before entering the third stage. It's not just like randomly jumping into it and like, oh, I want to see results now. I'm going to be in 1,000-calorie deficit. No, it's not sustainable. That's just not how it works. You have to take these things one step at a time. If you're somebody that's been struggling with this and you want to be getting sub 10% body fat, achieving your peak dream physique, and being able to reveal your muscle definition and that aesthetic that you have covered under a layer of fat, unfortunately, you can go ahead and book a call in the description for my one-on-one coaching. See if you're a good fit for working together to getting you absolutely shredded. But other than that, guys, stick to this, implement these stages, and don't walk away from this video without actually implementing and executing each and every single day to be achieving these results.